This is my journal entry for May 10th, 2025. My journal entry started at 8:30 a.m. The torture device was on while I meditated and after. This is cruelty and police brutality. As they would know from their thermal imaging that I'm meditating and I do not have a device that's connected to the internet turned on. At 8:44 a.m., the torture device was turned on while I was on the couch. I was experiencing sharp pains that ran through my head as well as a headache and blurry eyes. At 8:51 a.m., the torture device still on, continued headache, sharp pain in ears. At 9:04 a.m., torture device has been turned up, increased eye blurriness, pain and pressure in my head. At 9:34 a.m., device continues, same symptoms. At 9:43 a.m., device was on while I was on the toilet. Severe migraine as usual. At 10:22 a.m., device on while on toilet again. Severe migraine, pain in the head. 10:23 a.m., torture device was on while sitting on bed. Severe migraine, blurry eyes. 10:32 a.m., device still on, extreme dizziness as well as severe migraine and blurry eyes. At 10:52 a.m., torture device continues, same symptoms. At 11:05 a.m., device also continues, same symptoms. 11:30 a.m., got out of shower. I just got out of the shower. The device was on me while I was in the shower. Increased feeling of weakness in my body, blurry eyes, tremors within my body, pain in my head. Once again, I do not carry a cell phone into the shower. There's some thermal imaging that they obviously are running while I'm undressed would clearly show that I do not have a device connected to the internet while I'm in the shower. At 11:50 a.m., I just finished getting ready. Device was turned up extremely high while I was in the bathroom in front of the sink. Once I was getting ready in the bathroom, feeling of pressure in diaphragm, shallow breathing, extremely tired and weak, jaw pain, eardrums were vibrating. Literally, I could hear I could feel and hear my eardrums vibrating like a drum. Once again, this is law enforcement brutality. 12:24 p.m., device still on while sitting on bed making video. Severe migraine, tiredness, weakness in body. At 12:27 p.m., device was on once again while I was on the toilet and washing my hands at the sink. Same symptoms as usual for the bathroom. The device seems to be turned up extremely high when it's in the bathroom, or the one that's in the bathroom, I should say, because they have multiple devices located above me in the apartment above me. The one that's in the bathroom is extremely high, so it creates extreme symptoms of the feeling of pain and pressure in the head, weakness, blurry eyes. All right. The next entries were from 12:39 p.m. to 1:37 p.m. I, at that time, was out driving. I think for most of that time I'd had my Lyft app turned on. I was online and I was driving from my apartment complex all the way up to an area called Wesley Chapel. The entire time the device was turned on, I was experiencing lethargy, blurry eyes, severe migraine. My next entry was at 1:37. I just wanted to continue it. I just wanted to have like a time that it started and stopped so that I didn't forget to write that time down. So I put 1:37. I got up to Wesley Chapel and there were no rides available, which I don't know, I kind of find that to be mysterious. I know my Lyft app is hacked, so I almost feel like I'm purposely not getting rides, or there's something going on with that with the hacker that is working for law enforcement. He's obviously he or she, because I believe that they're using multiple hackers. I've seen them around the property here. But I believe that they are messing with my ability to make income. So when I got to Wesley Chapel, I decided to get on the highway and head towards Naples, which is just south. Traffic was extremely heavy, and that would have been during this time, probably closer to the 1:37-ish p.m. time. While I was in traffic, I was going to get off of the exit that was for the Fowler Avenue. Traffic was hardly moving for that line, so I decided to get over, which traffic wasn't moving much more in the rest of the traffic. But I thought, well, I'll just see if I can move faster, going further down and taking another exit. And lo and behold, there was a sheriff's car ahead of me in that line of traffic getting off at the Fowler Avenue. So that would have been why I was feeling the pain and pressure in my head, because it would have been probably from that agent using the device in their car. Also, a Tampa Police Department SUV cruiser passed by to my left while I was in the rest of the traffic. So anytime that these agents are near me, there's always, I like I say, I don't even need to see their cars. I know when either they are in the vicinity or other agents that are in unmarked vehicles, usually can be like a Ford F-150 truck or a Chevy truck, or I know that they're also using cars and other people that are driving around. But I always know, if you're feeling pain and pressure, you know that an agent is in the vicinity. I don't need to see their car, obviously, because you would feel the pain and pressure from the device trying to grab data, which, here's law enforcement brutality once again, because they should be able to see, I'm assuming, exactly what is on my phone. And if they see that my Lyft app is up and I'm definitely online, what else would I be researching? Would I be doing researching while I'm driving? Would I be texting somebody else necessarily while I'm driving? So this is cruel and unnecessary punishment by these agent actors. At that time, I was so lethargic, I decided to say screw it. I was just too tired. I just couldn't deal with people. So like I say, these devices being on my car is inhibiting my ability to do my job. At that time, I decided to go. I decided to come in and get something to eat. So I went through a drive-thru and grabbed food to see if I felt any better after that. The device was turned off while I was sitting in a parking lot. My car was off while I was eating. At that point, I decided I'm just done for the day. I just didn't have the energy to deal with people, obviously. So I decided I'm just going to come back home. So I ran to a convenience store before coming home. I will say for the majority of the time that I was home, the rest of the day, the thermal imaging devices that are causing so much havoc to my being appeared to be off. It also sounded almost as like, I'm not sure if the person who usually stalks me from above was not there. I know they also use a person that lives or appears to live, I will say, in across the hallway. If I'm ever on my device, you can hear them come out, and evidently they put a device in one of the trash cans that aren't supposed to be left sitting out, but there's always trash cans in the hall that are close to my apartment that are always sitting out that appear to be where they stash their devices to pick up data or information. So my next journal entries for May 11th, 2025. At 10:16 is my first entry, 10:16 a.m. Torture devices on, have migraine in head and eyes. Eyes were blurry. At 10:37 a.m., torture device was on while on toilet. Of course, in there, extreme severe migraine. At 11:33 a.m., device was on while sitting on the couch. Once again, severe migraine. At 12:29 p.m., torture device was on, severe migraine, and that was just while I was sitting on the couch. At 12:44 p.m., torture device continues while sitting on the couch. Same symptoms, severe migraine. At 1:04 p.m. is my next entry. Torture device continues, severe migraine, affecting my nervous system, pressure in my diaphragm, shallow breathing. At 1:26 p.m., torture device continues, migraine becoming extremely bad. My eyes were becoming very blurry. At 2:48 p.m., torture device was on me while I was eating. They would clearly know I'm eating. Severe migraine, blurry eyes. 2:57 p.m., torture device was on while I was in the kitchen. Same symptoms, severe migraine. Usually when I'm in the kitchen and it's on, also increased weakness in my body. 3:05 p.m., torture device on while on couch, severe migraine. Feeling like I'm just going to have a bloody nose. The pain was so severe in here. At 3:42 p.m., torture device continues, same symptoms. At 4:11 p.m., torture device continues to be on, increased inflammation in brain and sinuses. 4:36 p.m., torture device continues. Same symptoms as before, additional heart arrhythmia, shallow breathing. At 4:49 p.m., torture device continues, same symptoms. At 5:07 p.m., torture device continues, same symptoms. At 5:30 p.m., torture device continues, same symptoms. At 6:25 p.m., device is on me after putting groceries away. I was then sitting on the couch at that time. Headache. My last entry was at 7 p.m. Torture device was on, pain in back of head and sinuses. That is the last entry for yesterday, which was May 11th. So I will do my best to get on here for tomorrow. Like I say, I'm going to attempt to go out and work, but if I'm not going to be tortured all day long while I try to do my job, and if they are going to put agents or actors in my car, I'm going to stop and do a video about it. And I'll just continue to post these up on YouTube so that there is evidence of what appears to be civil rights violations. But Anyway, I'm going to attempt to go out and do my job. And if I can't do it, well then I'll come back and make another video.